What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package, known as the American Jobs Plan, which will apparently create millions of jobs, as well as the stimulus package, the next stimulus package, known as the American Families Plan, which has about 15 different stimulus items currently being negotiated on what will be in and what will be out of that package, as well as what is going on in the world today. The White House has been very busy. We're going to hear from President Biden. We're going to hear from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki about the next stimulus check and the stimulus package right now. We're also going to hear some brand new breaking information regarding our country. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new future updates regarding the upcoming round of new stimulus, as well as everything else of what's going on with our country. Don't forget to hit the like button, and here we go. The Pentagon has confirmed that they are tracking a Chinese rocket that is falling from outer space and will be landing within the next few days in an unknown area. They do not know where it's going to land, where it's going to hit. As you can see here, the Pentagon is closely tracking an uncontrolled Chinese rocket set to re-enter Earth's atmosphere this weekend, the Defense Department's top spokesman said on Wednesday. U.S. Space Command estimates the near fully intact Chinese long rocket will enter Earth's atmosphere somewhere around May 8th, John Kirby told reporters. The rocket's exact entry point into the atmosphere, quote, cannot be pinpointed until within hours of its re-entry, the Defense Department spokesperson said in a statement. Kirby could not say what measures the military may have in place should the rocket land on U.S. soil, pointing to its limited time frame. Quote, it's too soon to explore options about what, if anything, can be done about this until we have a better sense of where it's coming down. Quote, we just don't know enough right now to be able to formulate specific notification plans. This Chinese rocket took flight last week to launch part of Beijing's planned space station. Usually, debris left over from launches burn up in the atmosphere, but this rocket's 22-ton size has officials concerned that pieces of it can fall back to Earth and cause damage or injury. The 18th Space Control Squadron at the Vandenberg Air Force Base, California, was set to offer daily updates on the rocket body's location beginning yesterday. In addition to this, President Biden is in talks with Iran over a possible negotiation over U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. The U.S. and Iran are signaling a possible breakthrough on discussions for both countries to return to the 2015 nuclear deal that former President Donald Trump withdrew from in 2018. Both the Biden administration and Iran are feeling pressure to quickly achieve an agreement that would allow the two countries to return to the Obama-era deal, which former President Donald Trump withdrew from. The U.S. is also engaged in talks about vaccine patents and possibly removing the patents from companies like Pfizer and Moderna temporarily, basically giving their information about the vaccines to other parts of the world. The Biden administration will support a proposal to waive international patent protections for COVID-19 vaccinations, according to a top administration official. U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai said in a statement Wednesday that, quote, extraordinary circumstances of the pandemic call for extraordinary measures. The U.S. will begin participating with the WTO, the World Trade Organization, negotiations over the exact language of the waiver, which supporters say would make details of vaccine production widely available and allow lower-income countries to make doses themselves. Lower-income countries are struggling to acquire and manufacture the life-saving vaccines as wealthy countries stockpile doses. This news instantly sent down Pfizer stock and Moderna stock, probably among others. President Biden has been touring the country right now to shore up support over the two next packages, the physical infrastructure package and the American Families Plan, as well as for vaccine support. We'll hear from President Biden, and then we'll hear important information from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki regarding the next stimulus check and the next stimulus packages.
As we turn to this new phase, we're also setting a new goal. 2 months from today, families across the country are going to celebrate the 4th of July. Our goal by July 4th is to have 70% of adult Americans at least one shot and 160 million Americans fully vaccinated. That means giving close to 100 million shots, some first shots, other second shots, over the next 60 days. Of course, Americans can still get shots after July 4th, but no one should wait, and let's try to hit that 70% mark, at least with one shot before that day. It's another huge goal. And as you may remember, we were initially focused on getting enough vaccines for every adult. Well, we did that. We have enough vaccines. Now that we have the vaccine supply, we're focused on convincing even more Americans to show up and get the vaccine that is available to them. If we succeed in this effort, as we did with the last, then Americans will have taken a serious step towards a return to normal. That's July 4th. But we're not there yet. That's why I'm asking people to continue to follow the CDC guidelines as we work to get more people vaccinated. And to clear up any confusion, the good news is that last week the CDC said that vaccinated people do not need to wear their masks outside unless they're in very crowded settings like a sporting event. And if we can continue to drive vaccinations up and caseloads down, we'll need our masks even less and less. I know it will take time to get everything back to normal. You know, we're all going to have to be patient with one another. Masks have needlessly divided this country. Masking, as directed, is a patriotic duty, but so too is treating each other with respect and patience.
Now remember, the pandemic, the vaccines, and the virus is only about half of the problem we're dealing with. That's the pandemic part. The other half we're dealing with is the economic crisis, the recession or the depression that we're in right now. And remember, in 2008, 2009, it took us 4 years just to get back to normal unemployment. And that is why they're pushing for this next physical infrastructure package and this next stimulus package called the American Families Plan, which they're currently negotiating on right now. They're negotiating on a fourth stimulus check. We have 2 different plans, one from the Senate for a monthly stimulus check that will go until the pandemic is over. That is $2,000 per month. We have another bill from the U.S. House of Representatives, Rashida Tlaib, for a one-time $2,000 stimulus check, then followed by $1,000 monthly stimulus checks until 1 year after the pandemic is over. We know that they're pushing for Social Security increases in 2 different bills, one for $200 per month for all Social Security recipients, another one for $279 per month for SSI recipients, but could also be included to SSDI. As well as the president has himself focused on education and children, particularly 2 different areas that might not affect everybody, but will affect tens of millions of people. Number one, the president said he is willing to do $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness, although Democrats are pushing him to do more, as high as $50,000. The president has also said that he's willing to do 2 years of free college for all Americans that make below an income requirement that will probably be similar to the third stimulus check, as well as 2 years of free preschool for children ages 3 to 4. As you know, our son Julian just turned 3 about a week ago. Yeah, about a week ago. So yeah, if you have a children 3 to 4 to 5, they could qualify for 2 years of free preschool here in the near future if they pass that in this next package. 2 years of free college, student loan debt forgiveness, as well as where they're focusing on families. They're talking about free paid family leave, up to 12 weeks of family leave paid for by the government. If you're dealing with basically a crisis, if you're dealing with somebody who has COVID, or somebody who has an illness, or there's several different things that would qualify you for. But that's one thing they're possibly pushing for. There's about 15 different things on the block right now to be included or not be included in this next stimulus package. Here is White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on the next stimulus and infrastructure package. By the way, her recent interview or kind of speech to everybody was 50 minutes long. I really have just the couple of important segments for you here, so listen in.
At this point, when you think about getting these plans passed through Congress, are you envisioning both plans being combined into one bill? I mean, is that what the White House favors, or separately? What's the position right now?
We're open to a range of mechanisms for the president's ideas moving forward. But exactly what you're talking about is part of the discussion we're going to have with members of Congress. And there's an openness to smaller package, to different components moving forward together. We will leave those mechanics to leaders in Congress, but what we're discussing with them is where we can find agreements on many of the proposals and ideas the president has put forward.
That's actually the first time I've seen somebody from the media or from the press talk about combining those two packages into one. I remember when they were just getting ready to unveil this and they're like, oh, we're going to unveil it in two different packages. And I was already kind of thinking ahead because, well, I live and breathe this stuff every single day for you guys to bring you guys the latest information. But I just kind of knew that, well, the Republicans probably aren't going to support this. So, and then we finally got the information that the Senate parliamentarian ruled that they can pass two more bills or two more packages with the reconciliation process. And I was thinking, well, they're probably separating them so the price tag doesn't look like as much. And again, I'm not a Republican or I'm not a Democrat, but that's just kind of like the reality of things. Like $4 trillion price tag scares a lot of people, but 2 trillion and 2 trillion, well, it doesn't really seem as bad. But I don't think that they're going to ultimately end up getting support from the Republicans. I think there's a chance they could do it in the physical infrastructure package, but the American Jobs Plan. But remember, the Republicans' counter proposal is about 25% of the size that President Biden wants. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a deal being that far away. We'll see here. But I think that if they end up passing both these packages with the reconciliation process, then they might as well just pass it in one plan, combine them at the last minute, and then pass them all in one vote and with one reconciliation card and save that other one for the next package. As yes, Democrats are already talking about the next stimulus package that's going to come after these two, because while we know that the economic portion of the recovery is going to take a while, it's not just going to instantly go away next month, and we're not going to economically be better. Yeah, the economy is starting to creep up little by little, but I mean, remember, it took 2008, 2009, 4 years for unemployment to come back. So we're likely in for, I mean, even if they cut that down to 3 years or even 2 years, we're still looking at a long economic battle where maybe we creep up little by little by little. Then most economists will tell you that the more stimulus packages they pass now, they can actually pay for themselves by bringing the economy back faster, which brings in more tax dollars. People are out spending faster and things are back to normal faster. That'll actually bring in trillions of dollars by getting us back to normal faster.
Question on the families plan. During the campaign, President Biden proposed free tuition to four-year colleges and universities for students whose families earn $125,000 or less. His family's plan released last week, as you know, only offers free tuition to students to attend two-year community colleges. Why did he not go through with that larger plan for free schooling at universities and college, and why was it limited to just community colleges?
Well, let me first say, while the American Families Plan has a historic investment in education and child care, free universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds across the country, which we know would have a huge impact. You're 58% more likely to graduate from high school if you go to preschool as opposed to daycare, and 2 years of community college. But this is not the totality of what the president hopes to do on education. This is a significant investment, a historic investment that he's proposing, but we're less than 107 days, I know we are, into the administration. Go ahead.
Thanks, Ben. Does the President, White House Department of Education believe that public schools should require that students get vaccinated once folks under 16 are available to get vaccinated, whether it's Pfizer, Moderna, what have you, within the next couple of months?
it's not my understanding that we're putting in new requirements here from the federal government. I would expect the Department of Education will work with local schools and school districts on implementation and how to keep students and teachers safe.
I just have a feeling, and this is, you can let me know if you think differently, but I just think that sometime in the future, whether it's this fall or this fall might be a little early for, because vaccines might not be available for all children, but I just have a feeling that they're going to require the COVID-19 vaccine for children sometime in the near future. As you can see here on the screen, all 50 states require, for even daycare and school, kindergarten through grade 12, have various different vaccines, chickenpox, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, that are required in all 50 states. Each state is a little bit different, but the majority of states actually require all of these already. So my question to you is, if we already know that these vaccines, for chickenpox vaccine, polio vaccine, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, if those are already required by schools or the state governments, do you think they're going to require COVID-19 in the future for school children? I just think, looking at this list here, that I just think it's inevitable that the government's going to require this, because they already require all these different vaccines. I mean, there's literally like 5 to 7 of them here. If they already require these vaccines, I just think that it's going to happen. You think about polio. Polio is pretty much eradicated in the United States, and if it weren't for the vaccine, I mean, polio was world changing when it was spreading like crazy, and we know that COVID-19 was world changing and literally shut down our country for the first time pretty much ever. So I just can see the writing on the wall. I think it's going to happen. You can let me know your thoughts if you agree or disagree in the comments. Next up, let's hear directly from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. She's asked directly on a fourth stimulus check.
And one last question. There's a bunch of lawmakers, including one I cover, who would love to still see another round of stimulus checks, a direct payment, even every month till the pandemic ends. Is that something that, it hasn't been in either of the president's new proposals, but that's something that could be on the table?
Well, I mean, first I would say that in the president's new proposal, he does call for an extension of the historic expansion, I should say, extension of the child tax credit. And if passed, the families of tens of millions of children will continue to get regular payments that total up to $3,000 per year for kids age 6 and over, and $3,600 for kids under 6. Obviously, we're continuing to evaluate what their needs are to continue to get the pandemic under control, put people back to work, but we think that's also a proposal that will have a long-term benefit.
Do you think that there could be another round of direct payments in one of these bills?
We'll see what members of Congress propose, but those are not free.
So actually, very good news there. Jen Psaki is asked about, will there be another round of checks? First, she says, well, which is, I mean, really good news twice here, is that yes, well, first of all, we're going to continue, or we want to continue, monthly stimulus checks from the child tax credits. As you know, that pays now an increase from the third stimulus check package that was already passed. For this year alone, it's $3,000 per child for children ages 6 through 17, and $3,600 for children under the age of 6. And the IRS is going to start paying out monthly payments on that starting in July of $250 per month per child over the age of 6, and $300 for children under the age of 6 per month. That was passed from the third stimulus check package for 1 year, and that she says they want to have that go for more years, and is one of the likely things that will be in this next package when all the negotiations are said and done. So she's saying first is that stimulus checks will probably continue, at least for the monthly child tax credits, which goes to children and their parents. Number one. Then he asked number two, well, he kind of asked again, is, well, what about an actual forced stimulus check? Do you think that'll happen? We have a number of lawmakers that are pushing for it. As you know, we've been discussing that for a while here on the channel, and it's really starting to pick up into mainstream news now. It's being asked about in the White House. We have that new petition that has over 2.1 million signatures that a forced stimulus check should be monthly recurring stimulus payments. We have 2 different bills for monthly recurring stimulus payments, one from the Senate, one from the House. This is separate from the child tax credit. This is in addition to. And she basically said, well, yeah, let's see what Congress says. Congress is the one that writes the bills. Congress is the one that can include a stimulus check if they want it. So she kind of leaves the door open to, yeah, we can put a forced stimulus check in there if there's enough support from Congress. And that's why I've been saying that right now is the most important time. They're negotiating all these different stimulus items, what will be included, what won't be included. You heard her say that the current proposals for 2 years of free college and 2 years of free preschool. They can negotiate that up to 4 years of more college, or free college, I should say. That also could be something that we get 2 years of free college added in now, and then later on, the Democrats go, wow, this is working so well. Let's increase that to 4 years, which is almost exactly what we're seeing with the child tax credits. They did that with the increase of child tax credits and the monthly payments for 1 year. And now they're already saying, literally like a month after they passed the third stimulus package, that wow, even though these payments haven't gone out yet, we already want to extend it to at least 2025 or indefinitely. So we could definitely see that happen with the free college as well. I know a lot of adults on this channel have said that they would love to be able to go back to college, get a degree, or get some special skills to be able to go and get a better job. If you could go back to college for free, would you? Well, that's actually becoming a very real reality from this next stimulus package, or at least for 2 years. But I think we could see the same thing happen for this college proposal or provision that's likely to be included in this next package. They could pass it for 2 years and then later on down the line say, you know what, this is working so well, just like they did with the child tax credits, that now we want to extend that or expand that to 4 years. And that's going to completely change the game in the United States. I mean, right now, going to college for over 4 years costs the average American over $100,000, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And changing that with the government basically providing this, very similar to how the government pays for kindergarten through grade 12. I mean, you don't pay to go to, kindergarten or first grade, second grade, third grade, and it's kind of just paid for through taxes and from the government. If college becomes that way, it'll be an absolute game changer. So I'll keep you up to date on all the stimulus items, the stimulus proposals, and the next stimulus package, as well as what's going on in the world today. If you're new to the channel, join our family here. Subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And after subscribing, click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live. Our next video tonight will be at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss an episode. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on the Amazon FBA platform. We have already had dozens of students that have already replaced their 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon FBA, and I teach them how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.